Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. It is time for Tell It Tuesday. Let's get going. Okay, let's get going. I actually have two questions that are so similar, I thought that it would be great to talk about them in this particular video. The first one is from Allison, and her question is, what really is Vachetta? And how do you pronounce it? Is it Vachetta or Vachetta? So thank you. These are really great questions. And let's handle the first one. What is Vachetta? And it is really, it's just simply untreated leather. And it's usually that the term means leather that you would use specifically in handbags or luggage. And if it is Vachetta, it is untreated, meaning that when it comes to you, it's very light, there's no stain on it, it hasn't been really protected, and it is really susceptible to water stains, that kind of thing. And over time, the sun begins to darken it, and it turns a different, like a deeper shade, and that is actually called patina. So I'm looking back there. I don't have any brand new, I don't think, Vachetta that I can show you. I'm looking around. Nope, I haven't done any Vachetta lately. But what I do have is this one. This is probably the lightest that I have. Let me try to get that kind of close so you can see it. It's quite light. And it has actually begun to patina over time. I do have a subscriber who bought a Louis Vuitton when I got a Louis Vuitton and a Speedy, and she took this piece out, so it would be a shorter strap for her. And this, actually, her middle strap is lighter than her bag. So it does patina over time, and that is something that you kind of have to be careful about when dealing with bags that have Vachetta on them. I'm bringing this one out so you can see it because it's a little bit darker. Can you see that? Just a little bit darker on its patina journey. And let's see, I have this one, which is even a little bit darker. This is a lovely honey patina. Isn't that gorgeous? This is actually my favorite color of patina. This one's really quite a gorgeous bag. Okay, so there you have it. That's what patina is, and then I mean that's what Vachetta is, and that's some different shades as it's taking its journey along the patina road. And so now let's talk about how to pronounce it. Honestly, Vachetta and Vachetta are actually correct. Vachetta is how you would pronounce it if you were in Italy. Vachetta is how you would pronounce it if you were in France. The reason why I personally say Vachetta is because usually when I'm talking about the bags, I'm usually talking about Louis Vuitton. Sometimes I might be talking about Dooney & Bourke, and they do have some wonderful Vachetta as well, but they are an American company, so you can't really govern by that. If I had a plethora of Italian-made purses, I might call it Vachetta. I don't think that it really matters. I think that here in America, kind of your personal preference, but I just like to be respectful because I am handling a France bag, a bag from France or designed in France, so I take the French pronunciation. I hope that was helpful. And I guess with that, let's move on to the second question. And that was from a lovely dear subscriber, and she is looking to get her first Louis Vuitton. And her question was, listen, I've heard that, you know, if I don't know whether I should be getting the Ebene or if I should get the mono print for Louis Vuitton, but I've heard that if I get the Ebene, that the straps are prone to crack and crinkle. And I don't know, like, which one should I get? And so I just kind of want to talk about the pros and the cons of both, and then let you make your own decision. I thought this would be really good to talk about in the same video. So since we're already on the subject of Vachetta, Vachetta is wonderful and it's beautiful to watch its journey. I love the monogram print. I really do. I love the Vachetta. But you really have to be careful because it is susceptible to the elements. If it rains, you could get water spots. Now, there are things that you can do to treat that Vachetta along the way. Some people use apple care products. Some people treat it with Loving My Bags. Some people just go ahead and put some type of oil on it, which makes it just deepen immediately to get there. I can tell you that if you get water spots on it as it begins to patina and to deepen, it actually begins to blend in together, you know, although there will always be that slight difference between where the water was and where the other deepening hasn't yet occurred. So I hope that's helpful. I do have some Vachetta pieces, but I'll be real honest, you can probably tell that a lot of mine lately have been those bags that don't have all of that patina. Now, oh, you know what? I told a story earlier. Oh my goodness, we're still working on the lights, forgive me. This is a very new patina. I just got this at Christmas. I'm so very sorry. Now, I will tell you, here's the thing. There's really nothing wrong with having a monogram bag. There's nothing wrong with having patina. Some people baby their bags more than others. Some, you know, like it started to rain today out of nowhere. And let's say that I was in a store, you know, I'm probably going to ask the clerk for an extra bag and I would just dump this bag in a bag and walk to my car if I got caught in a rainstorm. That has happened before. With my Speedy monogram, I actually was caught in down at the town center and I made it into the Disney store and I ended up buying this really big bag to cover it because I didn't want to get it wet and it was raining pretty good. And I did want to go over to the Louis Vuitton store and when they're kind of close to each other. So it was just a little hop and a skip. I did. I bought an actual bag from the Disney store so I could make sure that it's covered. You may not be bothered by it and you can just roll around in a rainstorm and you would be absolutely okay. Some people get theirs protected and they feel that it protects it from the elements and they don't get those water spots. So there's things that you can do to keep your Vachetta nice and you can manage the patina on your own. So now let's talk about Ebene. And I am so sorry that it keeps doing that. Please, I am going to be working on it. I don't know, this seems to be an issue with the X. I didn't have this issue with my 7 Plus, but I'm going to resolve it. Stay with me. So let's take, let's grab this one. I think that'll be the easiest. This is my Never Full Dame Ebene. It's the GM pattern, and I've had it for a bit, and I've taken it on some weekend trips, and so it's actually gotten some good use, and I'm just kind of taking a look to see where we're at with it. Let me kind of straighten it out a little bit, and you can take a look here. As you can tell, I don't really have that much trouble with this particular bag. Let me see if I can show you these. Can you see that? I don't really get a lot of wrinkling on the Ebene, but I'm going to tell you the things that I do, and you know, maybe that's why. Number one, I know that people experience it along through here on the Neverfulls, and I think what happens is that they use this and they bring this side in and they use these on a regular basis. I don't. If I'm using this bag, it's because I intend to try and fill a Neverfull. So there's no need for me to pull it and cinch it in. If I need to cinch this bag in, I always feel like, wow, that one's a little bit too big for what I'm going to carry, and I might grab my Neo No Way. So I try to fit my bag to what I'm using for the day. It's not my regular everyday bag. It might be your everyday bag, so you need to adjust it according to your needs. I have a feeling that for the Damier Ebene, when you do a lot of those things, you end up with the cracking and the wrinkling. It's just my own personal theory. It doesn't mean anything. I just know that of all the Ebene that I have had, I don't really have an issue with it, but I don't do those things. So that's my thought process on it. I find that I like the Ebene a little bit better, and again, that's just me. And it's only because I live here in Florida. We are the Sunshine State, but we are also known in the springtime every afternoon to get this deluge that comes from the sky right at 4 or 4:30, and it rains for about an hour, and then the sun is beautiful again. But what that really means is every day I could possibly get caught in a rainstorm. And so there's a time of the year when I'm not so excited about carrying a bag that has a lot of vachetta on it. And I do tend to lean more towards the Ebene. If I had to choose and I had to get just one bag that I was going to be wearing throughout the year, I probably would be looking at Ebene. Now, there's going to be some of you wonderful individuals who are going to comment down below and say, I really love to wear vachetta all the time, the mono, and here's why. And I want you to know, like, I support it and I think it's great. It just depends on your personal preference. I don't think that there's a real right or wrong about it. I think that whatever you really like, there's always going to be something. If it's the Ebene, you may not want a cinch or Neverfull. If you want to be a cincher, maybe the mono is your bag, and maybe you just need to be mindful on rainy days. Maybe you like that as character. I know that there are individuals that when they get that first water spot, that is their opportunity to go, okay, phew. It's like when you get a new car, you make that rule that says, okay, nobody eats or drinks in my car. And then there's that first whatever it is that happens, and all of a sudden it's okay. You find yourself one day and everybody's munching away while you're on your way to Kansas, and it's really okay. Some people are like that. They're careful with the bag, and then you get that one spot or that one whatever thing that happens, and then they're like, it's all good. It's now my lived-in, wonderful daily bag. I hope that was helpful. I'm not sure that I specifically answered your question, but it really is up to you, and whichever one you decide, I just want it to make you happy, and I support whichever one it is. I would love to know. For anyone who has a preference, just leave it in the comments below. I can't wait to read about it. And that's really it for today's Tell It Tuesday. I hope that you've been wonderful. I hope that this has been a great 2018 so far, and I look forward to some great videos together. Take care, everyone. I love you. Talk to you again very soon. Bye.